Imagine standing in front of 200 guests at your husband's lavish birthday party in Lagos. Cameras flashing, champagne flowing, everyone smiling. When suddenly, he demands you sign over your only property as his birthday gift. You refuse. And in the next heartbeat, a 3-tier chocolate cake explodes against your face as the room erupts in gasps and the clicking of phones recording your humiliation. But the cake smashing was just the beginning. Behind that public disgrace lay stolen money, a pregnant mistress, a dangerous hidden past threatening to surface, and a mother-in-law determined to break her completely. One woman, one choice, and a chain of events that would either destroy her forever or forge her into someone unstoppable. Welcome to K-Smart Mythic Tales, where we bring you the most gripping African family dramas that will leave you breathless. Thank you for your incredible support. You are the reason we keep bringing these powerful stories to life. Before we dive into the story, kindly subscribe, drop a comment below and tell us where you are watching from. Now let's get into this explosive story. This is the story of Adaeze, the woman who refused to be broken. The cake exploded against Adaeze's face with such force that frosting splattered onto the guests' clothes. Silence swallowed the entire banquet hall. Chocolate icing dripped down her gold-embroidered Nigerian lace dress, the one she'd spent 3 months' salary on for her husband's 40th birthday celebration. 200 guests stood frozen, their phones already recording. Lagos socialites, business partners, church members, all witnessing her humiliation. "You ungrateful woman!" Chukwudi's voice echoed through the rented hall in Victoria Island. "After everything I've done for you, you can't even gift me your house for my birthday." Adaeze's hands trembled as she wiped buttercream from her eyes. The diamond necklace he'd given her earlier that evening, the bribe she'd refused, now felt like a noose around her neck. This morning, everything had been perfect. She'd woken at dawn to prepare his favorite pepper soup, supervised the caterers, confirmed the live band, and smiled for hours as guests arrived at the hotel venue. The celebration had cost nearly 3 million naira. Money from her boutique business, not his construction company that was barely breaking even. Then came the surprise. During the toast, Chukwudi had presented documents before the entire crowd. Transfer papers for her 3-bedroom house in Lekki. The property her late father left her. The only thing standing between her and complete dependence on a man whose drinking had turned violent over the past year. "Sign it, baby," he'd whispered, champagne on his breath, gripping her wrist too tightly. "Show everyone how much you love your husband." The guests had applauded, thinking it romantic. His mother, Mama Uche, had nodded approvingly from the high table. Even Pastor Okonkwo smiled, expecting wifely submission. But Adaeze had learned something 3 weeks ago. Something that made her fingers refuse to hold the pen. She'd discovered Chukwudi had already mortgaged their shared apartment without telling her. The bank was threatening foreclosure. He needed her house to secure another loan, one he'd likely gamble away like the others. So she'd said the word that now hung in the air like a curse. "No!" The slap came first. Quick, sharp, stunning. Then Chukwudi grabbed the 3-tier birthday cake and smashed it into her face before she could react. Now, as pieces of fondant fell from her hair onto the marble floor, Adaeze looked around the room. Some guests averted their eyes. Others whispered behind their hands. His business partner, Emeka, smirked from the corner. Mama Uche's face showed no sympathy, only cold disappointment in a daughter-in-law who dared embarrass her son publicly. "You think you're better than me?" Chukwudi grabbed the microphone, his voice slurring slightly. "This woman, my wife, refuses to support her husband. She hoards property while I struggle to build my business. What kind of wife does this?" Adaeze's best friend, Ngozi, started toward her, but Mama Uche blocked her path with one raised hand. "A wife who knows you've been stealing from her shop for 6 months, Adaeze heard herself say. Her voice sounded strange, steady, clear, fearless. A wife who found the betting slips. The loan shark's messages. The second phone with pictures of Gloria from your office. The crowd gasped. Chukwudi's face turned purple. "You're lying. You're a liar and a disgrace." He lunged toward her, but 2 groomsmen grabbed his arms. The band stopped playing mid-song. Someone's auntie began praying loudly in Igbo. Adaeze picked up her purse with shaking hands, cake still dripping down her face, and walked toward the exit. Each step felt like miles. The clicking of her heels echoed in the horrible silence. "If you leave this hole, don't bother coming home." Chukwudi shouted behind her. You hear me, Adaeze? You're nothing without me. That house should be mine anyway. What kind of woman owns property and her husband doesn't? She didn't turn around. Didn't respond. Just kept walking through the double doors into the warm Lagos night, where the sound of generators hummed and car horns honked on Ahmadu Bello Way. Her phone buzzed immediately. Unknown number. Everyone knows your shame now. You should have signed. He owns you. Pastor will make sure you obey. Your father would be ashamed. Adaeze stared at the message, her heart hammering. How did they get her number? Who sent this? Then another buzz. This time from her bank. Unusual activity detected on your business account. Please contact us immediately. Her blood ran cold. Behind her, she heard Mama Uche's voice carrying through the closing doors. Don't worry, my son. We'll teach that stubborn girl the lesson she needs. She'll come crawling back and sign everything over. They always do. Adaeze hadn't slept. She sat on Ngozi's couch in Surulere, still wearing the ruined dress, scrolling through social media as the sun rose over Lagos. The videos were everywhere. Wife refuses Tio gift house to husband. Gets cake in face. One headline screamed. The comment sections overflowed with judgment. Women nowadays have no respect. She's probably cheating. Why else would she refuse? My husband would never ask, but if he did, I'd give it. That's what marriage means. But others defended her, red flags everywhere. He's clearly abusive. Why does he need her house? What happened to his own money? Ngozi emerged from the bedroom with 2 cups of tea. Stop reading that rubbish. Those people don't know you. They think they do. Adaeze's voice was hollow. 38 years old. Successful businesswoman. And everyone thinks I'm the villain. Ngozi sat beside her, tucking her colorful Ankara robe around her knees. They'd been friends since secondary school at Queen's College. The only person Adaeze truly trusted. Tell me about the bank message, Ngozi said softly. Adaeze pulled up her phone. She'd called the bank at dawn. The news was worse than she'd imagined. Someone cleaned out my business account. 4 million naira. Gone. They said the transfer was authorized yesterday afternoon during the party setup. Chukwudi. He's the only other person with access. I added him 2 years ago when things were still good. Adaeze laughed bitterly. When I still believed marriage meant partnership. Her phone rang. Pastor Okonkwo's name flashed on the screen. She considered ignoring it, but church members already thought her rebellious. Refusing the pastor's call would make things worse. Sister Adaeze. His voice carried that particular tone of disappointment she'd heard directed at wayward women her entire life. I think we need to meet. Today. This situation requires immediate spiritual intervention. Pastor, with respect, my husband assaulted me publicly. Sister, I saw a wife refusing to honor her husband's simple birthday request. The Bible is clear about submission. Adaeze felt something crack inside her chest. Did the Bible also mention stealing? Adultery? Verbal abuse? Silence stretched between them. Come to my office at 2 o'clock, Pastor Okonkwo finally said. Mama Uche will be there. We'll pray and find a godly solution. This family can be restored if you're willing to be humble. He hung up before she could respond. Let me guess, Ngozi said. Prayer meeting where they lecture you about being a submissive wife? Basically. Adaeze stood, pacing the small sitting room. Morning traffic sounds filtered through the window. Okada motorcycles, bus conductors shouting destinations, the city waking up. I need to go to the police. Report the theft. Police. Ngozi's eyes widened. Ada, you know how that looks. Wife reporting husband? They'll laugh you out of the station. Worse, they'll call you a troublemaker. You'll never live it down in Lagos. So I just accept that he stole from me? No. But be smart about it. Ngozi pulled out her own phone. My cousin Amara, remember her? She's a lawyer now. Corporate law, but she'll know what options you have. Let me call her. While Ngozi dialed, Adaeze walked to the window. Below, a woman balanced a tray of bread on her head, navigating the dusty street. A man in Agbada shouted into his phone about a business deal. Normal Lagos life continuing while hers fell apart. Her phone buzzed again. This time, an email. From Gloria Adebanjo, Chukwudi's secretary. Subject line: We need to talk. Adaeze's hand shook as she opened it. Mrs. Adebayo, you don't know me personally, but I know your husband very well. Too well. I'm 7 weeks pregnant. He promised to divorce you and marry me after he got your house. That was our deal. But now I see the videos, and I realize he's played both of us. Meet me tomorrow at the Cafe Neo in Ikeja. 10 a.m. I have documents you need to see, bank statements, text messages, photos. Everything. Come alone, or I'll send them to your church WhatsApp group instead. The phone nearly slipped from Adaeze's fingers. Pregnant. 7 weeks. While she'd been planning his birthday party, selecting the perfect cake flavor, he'd been planning her destruction with his pregnant mistress. Ada? You look like you've seen a ghost. Ngozi touched her shoulder. He's having a baby with her. The words came out flat, emotionless. Shock had numbed everything. Gloria. She's pregnant. Ngozi snatched the phone, read the email, and cursed loudly in Yoruba. That bastard. That complete bastard. She wants to meet. Says she has documents. It could be a trap. Or it could be evidence I can actually use. Adaeze felt something shift inside her, from victim to strategist. If she has proof of what he's been doing, maybe I can recover my money. Protect my house. Get ahead of whatever he's planning next. You think there's more? Mama Uche said something last night. We'll teach that stubborn girl the lesson she needs. Not him. We. Adaeze turned to face her friend. They've been planning something. Something bigger than just the house. A knock at the door made them both jump. Ngozi approached cautiously. Who is it? Courier. Package for Adaeze Adebayo. They exchanged glances. No one should know she was here. Ngozi opened the door just enough to accept a brown envelope, then quickly locked it again. Inside were legal documents, and a handwritten note on expensive cardstock. Dear Adaeze, I'm filing for divorce on grounds of abandonment and disrespect. I'm also suing for half the value of your Lekki property, compensation for emotional distress, and half of your boutique's assets. You humiliated me publicly. Now you'll learn what real humiliation feels like. You have 48 hours to accept my settlement offer. Sign over the house, give me 60% of your business, and issue a public apology. Otherwise, I'll make sure everyone in Lagos knows exactly who you really were before we got married. Your past isn't as clean as you pretend. Signed, your soon-to-be ex-husband. Adaeze's past. Her breath caught. He couldn't know. No one knew except. What past? Ngozi asked quietly. But Adaeze couldn't answer. The room suddenly felt too small, too hot. Her vision blurred at the edges. Because if Chukwudi knew about those 3 years she'd spent in Johannesburg after university, about what she'd had to do to survive after her mother died and her father's business collapsed, about the choices she'd made in desperation before finally clawing her way back to respectability. If he knew, and he told everyone, her reputation wouldn't just be damaged. It would be completely destroyed. The Cafe Neo in Ikeja smelled like expensive coffee and air conditioning. Adaeze spotted Gloria immediately. Beautiful, young, maybe 26, wearing a yellow dress that barely concealed her changing figure. Gloria waved her over to a corner table, away from other customers. Thank you for coming. Gloria's voice was softer than Adaeze expected. I know this is awkward. Awkward. Adaeze sat down carefully, her back straight. You're carrying my husband's child and helped him plan to steal my property. Awkward doesn't quite cover it. Gloria flinched. I know how it looks. But I didn't know the full story until I saw those videos. Mrs. Adebayo, Adaeze, he told me you two were separated. That you were cold, withholding, that you trapped him in a loveless marriage for his money. I see. Adaeze's jaw tightened. And you believed him. I did. Until his business partner Emeka got drunk last week and started bragging about the master plan. That's when I realized I wasn't his future wife. I was just another tool. Gloria pulled a tablet from her bag. These are bank statements showing transfers from your boutique account to various betting sites and loan apps. All authorized from his phone. Adaeze scrolled through the documents, her heart sinking. Months of theft. Hundreds of thousands of naira drained systematically while she'd been too busy managing inventory and customers to notice the small, frequent withdrawals. There's more. Gloria swiped to a new folder. Text messages between him and his mother. They've been planning this for 8 months, since his construction business started failing. The goal was always to get your house, liquidate your boutique, and leave you with nothing. The messages were damning. Mama Uche. The girl has too much pride. We need to break her completely. Chukwudi. I'm working on it. Once I get her pregnant, she'll be desperate enough to sign anything. Mama Uche. And if that doesn't work, we expose her Johannesburg years. Pastor Okonkwo already suspects she's hiding something. One word from me, and the whole church will turn against her. Adeeze's hands went numb. Your Johannesburg years? Gloria asked carefully. What does that mean? Nothing that concerns you. But Adeeze's voice shook. Why are you showing me this? What do you want? I want child support and to not end up like you, destroyed by the same man. Gloria leaned forward. He promised to leave you and marry me. But these messages prove he was never going to do that. I'm just another person he's using. So I'm giving you ammunition. Use it to protect yourself, and in return, when everything settles, make sure my child gets what's legally owed. You want me to protect you. I want us both to survive him. Gloria's eyes were surprisingly clear. Men like Chukwudi destroy women and move on. But if we're smart, we can make sure he doesn't win. Adaeze stared at this young woman, her husband's mistress, carrying his child, and felt something unexpected, understanding. Send me everything, she said finally. Every document, every message. I'll need it for court. Already done. Check your email. Gloria stood, smoothing her dress. One more thing. That note he sent about your past? He hired a private investigator. Someone named Tund Bakare. The man found something in Johannesburg. Photos, witness statements. Chukwudi's planning to release everything on social media if you don't surrender the house by tomorrow night. The cafe suddenly felt suffocating. How do you know this? Because Emeka was bragging about it. He said, after tomorrow, Adeeze's reputation will be so destroyed she'll be begging to disappear. Gloria's expression softened. I don't know what happened in Johannesburg. But whatever it was, you deserve the chance to control your own narrative. She walked away, leaving Adaeze alone with cold coffee and colder dread. Her phone rang. Ngozi. Ada, where are you? Pastor Okonkwo called. He's demanding you come to church right now. Mama Uche filed a formal complaint with the elders. They're holding a meeting about your rebellious behavior. If you don't show up, they're threatening to excommunicate you. Excommunication. In their community it would be social death. No church member would associate with her. Her customers, mostly church sisters, would boycott her boutique. She'd be labeled a troublemaker. Maybe even a witch. I'm coming. Adaeze grabbed her bag. But first I need to make a stop. Where? To see someone who knows the truth about Johannesburg. Someone who can help me fight back before Chukwudi destroys everything. She hung up and dialed a number she hadn't called in 5 years. The phone rang 3 times before a familiar voice answered. Smooth, commanding, slightly amused. Adaeze Akoli. Or should I say Adaeze Adebayo now? I wondered when you'd call. Chief Okafor. I need your help. Of course you do. Nobody calls Chief after 5 years of silence unless they're desperate. He chuckled, but not unkindly. I heard about your little cake incident. All of Lagos is talking. So tell me, my dear, how desperate are you? Adaeze closed her eyes. Chief Okafor had been her mentor in Johannesburg during those difficult years. A wealthy Nigerian businessman who'd helped her get back on her feet. But his help always came with strings attached. Strings she'd spent years trying to untangle. Desperate enough to make a deal, she admitted. Excellent. Come to my house in Banana Island tonight. 9 o'clock. Don't be late, and come alone. We have much to discuss. He disconnected. Adaeze sat in her car outside the cafe, watching Lagos traffic crawl past. Okada riders weaving between vehicles. Hawkers selling everything from phone chargers to plantain chips. The sun blazing down on a city that never stopped moving, never stopped judging. She had two choices: face the church meeting unprepared and let them tear her apart, or make a deal with Chief Okafor and hope he didn't demand more than she could give. Her phone buzzed one more time. Anonymous message: Tick-tock, Adaeze. Tomorrow night, everyone learns who you really are. Unless you sign. The choice is yours. But choose quickly. Your time is running out. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this story with someone who loves emotional drama. What do you think happens next? Comment below. Chief Okafor's mansion on Banana Island was everything Adaeze remembered. Marble floors, crystal chandeliers, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking Lagos Lagoon. Old money. Real power. The steward led her to the study where Chief sat behind a massive mahogany desk, sipping cognac. Adaeze. He gestured to the chair across from him. You look terrible. Thank you for your honesty. I've always been honest with you. That's more than your husband can say. He pushed a folder across the desk. This is what the investigator found. Chukwudi paid him 50,000 naira. Cheap work, but unfortunately effective. Adaeze opened the folder with trembling hands. Photos from 2015. Her, much younger, serving drinks in a nightclub in Johannesburg. More photos, her with various men, laughing, dancing. Nothing explicitly damning, but in the context of Lagos church culture, devastating enough. Then the witness statements. Club employees describing her as a hostess who provided companionship. The language was carefully vague but unmistakably suggestive. I was a waitress, Adaeze whispered. That's all. I served drinks to survive after my scholarship fell through and my father stopped sending money. I know. Chief's voice was gentle. I was there, remember? I hired you at my hotel restaurant after you left that club. I helped you finish your degree online. I gave you the capital to start your boutique when you returned to Lagos. And I've repaid every kobo. Yes, you have. With interest. He refilled his glass. But Chukwudi doesn't know the full story. These photos and statements? He thinks they prove you were a prostitute. Tomorrow night, he'll post them everywhere with that narrative. Your church will believe it. Your customers will believe it. Your reputation will be destroyed within hours. So you're saying I should sign over my house and disappear quietly? No. Chief smiled. I'm saying you should fight. But to fight men like Chukwudi and manipulators like Mama Uche, you need weapons, money, lawyers, evidence, protection. I have Gloria's documents, which prove financial theft but won't stop the character assassination coming tomorrow. Chief leaned forward. However, I can stop it. I know people at the blogs, the social media influencers, the Instagram gossip pages. One phone call from me, and those photos never see daylight. Another call, and I can have counter-evidence circulating. The real story of a hard-working young woman who survived difficult circumstances and built a successful business. Adaeze's throat tightened. What do you want in exchange? Smart girl. Always asking the right questions. Chief pulled out another document. I'm expanding my hotel business. I need a boutique manager for the luxury fashion wing of my new property in Abuja. High salary, company housing, complete independence from your current mess. You'd start fresh, away from Lagos gossip. You want me to leave. I want you to survive. There's a difference. His expression grew serious. Adaeze, you can stay in Lagos and fight a battle you might not win. Chukwudi has his mother, the church, public sympathy. Even with evidence against him, the narrative of the rebellious wife has already taken root. Or you can accept my offer. Let me handle the immediate crisis and rebuild your life somewhere no one knows about cake-smashing videos. That's running away. That's strategy. Chief stood, walking to the window. Your father, God rest his soul, was my friend. Before his business collapsed, before the drinking started, he made me promise to look after you if anything happened to him. I tried to help when you were in South Africa, and I'm trying now. But I can't force you to accept wisdom. Adaeze thought of her father. Once a respected businessman, destroyed by bad deals and worse partners. He died of a heart attack shortly after she returned from Johannesburg, never knowing she'd clawed her way back to respectability. I don't want to abandon my boutique. Sell it. Quietly. I have buyers who'll pay fair market value. Use that money to sue Chukwudi for the funds he stole. From Abuja, with good lawyers, you can fight the legal battle without being physically present in Lagos for the social crucifixion. It made sense. Cold, practical sense. But it also felt like letting Chukwudi win. I need to think. Her phone exploded with notifications. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp. The photos were already posted. No, she whispered. He said tomorrow night. He said I had until. Chief moved to her side, looking at the screen. His expression darkened. Emeka, Chukwudi's business partner. He must have released them early. The posts were everywhere, captioned with vicious commentary. Adaeze's shameful past exposed. Church wife was actually a runs girl in South Africa. See why she refused to submit to her husband. Hundreds of comments already. Thousands of shares. I knew something was off about her. This explains everything. Shameless woman. Pastor Okonkwo needs to address this immediately. Her phone rang. Pastor Okonkwo. She answered, hands shaking. Sister Adaeze, I'm calling as a courtesy to inform you that the church board has voted. Effective immediately, you are suspended from fellowship pending investigation. Do not attend services, and do not contact any members. We will pray for your soul. He hung up. Another call. Mrs. Folashade, her biggest boutique client. Adaeze, I'm sorry, but I can't be associated with whatever this is. I'm canceling my standing orders. Please don't contact me again. Then another client. And another. Within minutes, her business was collapsing. Chief Okafor gently took the phone from her hands. Breathe. Just breathe. He's destroying everything. Tears finally came. Hot and furious. I did nothing wrong. I survived. I worked hard. I built a life. And they're acting like I'm a criminal because I served drinks in a nightclub 8 years ago. Welcome to Lagos morality. Women are punished for surviving the wrong way. Chief poured her a glass of water. But you can still fight back. Accept my offer. Come to Abuja. Let me circulate the truth, that you were a hard-working student, not what they're suggesting. Let my lawyers sue Chukwudi for defamation, theft, and fraud. From a position of safety, you can dismantle his lies systematically. And if I refuse? Then you stay here and face this mob alone. Your boutique will close. Your reputation will never recover. Chukwudi will win by default because you'll be too busy defending yourself to actually fight back. Chief's voice was firm but not unkind. Pride is expensive. Adaeze. Sometimes dignity means knowing when to retreat and regroup. Her phone buzzed again. Ngozi. Ada. People are coming to my house. Church members. They're saying terrible things. You need to go somewhere safe. Now. Adaeze looked at Chief Okafor, this powerful man who'd helped her once before, who was offering salvation again, but always at a price. What's the catch? She asked quietly. There's always a catch with you. He smiled, almost sadly. The catch is that you'll owe me. Not money. Not your house. But loyalty. When I need someone I trust to manage my Abuja property, you'll be there. When I need someone who understands discretion and survival, you'll remember who saved you when Lagos wanted your head. So I trade Chukwudi's control for yours. No. You trade Chukwudi's destruction for my mentorship. There's a difference. He extended his hand. Decide now, Adaeze. The mob is already forming. In Lagos, once the stones start flying, they don't stop until there's blood. Outside, she heard cars pulling up. Voices. Angry. Righteous. She's a disgrace. Runs girl pretending to be a churchwoman. Her husband was right to humiliate her. The church members had found her. Adaeze looked at Chief Okafor's extended hand, then at the door where judgment waited. She made her choice. Comment your thoughts on her redemption below. The church tribunal was everything Adaeze had feared. 2 weeks had passed since Chief Okafor smuggled her out of his mansion's back entrance while church members pounded on the front gate. 2 weeks in a secure apartment in Abuja, watching her Lagos life unravel from a distance while Chief's lawyers prepared her counterattack. But Mama Uche had demanded a face-to-face meeting. Through the church. On neutral ground. So here she was, back in Lagos, sitting in Pastor Okonkwo's office across from her husband, his mother, and 5 church elders, all men except for Deaconess Blessing, who looked at Adaeze with barely concealed contempt. Sister Adaeze. Pastor Okonkwo folded his hands on the desk. Thank you for coming. We've asked you here to discuss reconciliation. Reconciliation with a man who physically assaulted me, stole my money, and destroyed my reputation? Adeeze's voice was steady now. 2 weeks with Chief's life coach had taught her how to armor herself with calm. Interesting definition of reconciliation, Pastor. Watch your tone, girl. Mama Uche pointed a finger at her. You're here to apologize and make things right. My son has agreed to forgive you despite your shameful behavior. Mrs. Adebayo. Chief Okafor's lawyer, Barrister Akinwale, spoke from beside Adeeze. Please refrain from interrupting. This is a legal proceeding, not a family gathering. Legal proceeding? Chukwudi laughed. This is a church matter. Actually, Barrister Akinwale opened his briefcase. My client is here to serve you with several documents. First, a lawsuit for theft of 4 million naira from her business account. Second, a restraining order requiring you to stay at least 500 meters away from her at all times. Third, a defamation suit for releasing private photographs with false and malicious commentary. And fourth, divorce papers. The silence was absolute. You're suing my son? Mama Uche's voice rose to a shriek. After what you did. After your prostitution. Alleged prostitution. Barrister Akinwale cut her off smoothly. My client was never arrested, charged, or convicted of any crime. She worked as a waitress in Johannesburg, which is entirely legal. Your son's business partner, Mr. Emeka Okonkwo, deliberately mischaracterized these photos and will also be sued for defamation. We have sworn affidavits from 3 employees of the establishment confirming my client's role was strictly food and beverage service. He slid documents across the desk. Pastor Okonkwo picked them up with trembling hands. This is not how we handle things in the church. With respect, Pastor, the church failed to handle things at all. Adeeze met his eyes. Your response to domestic violence was to call for my submission. Your response to theft was to suggest prayer. Your response to character assassination was to suspend me without investigation. So yes, I'm handling it legally. You can't divorce me. Chukwudi finally found his voice. I won't allow it. Nigerian law doesn't require your permission. Barrister Akinwale pulled out more papers. We're filing on grounds of cruelty, adultery, confirmed by Miss Gloria Adebanjo's testimony and pregnancy, and theft. We have bank records, text messages, and witness statements. Mr. Adebayo, you will pay back every naira you stole, plus damages. With what? Chukwudi's face had gone pale. My business is bankrupt. Then you'll be working off your debt for years. The lawyer's smile was sharp. Additionally, Mrs. Adebayo is filing a formal police complaint for assault. The cake incident was recorded by dozens of witnesses. Physical violence against a spouse is a criminal offense. You're going to put my son in prison? Mama Uche surged to her feet. Over cake. Over assault, theft, and fraud. Adaeze stood as well, facing the woman who'd made her life miserable for 5 years. You raised a man who thinks he's entitled to other people's property. Who believes his wife is a servant, not a partner. Who destroys women and feels justified doing it. That's on you, Mama Uche. How dare you? I am your elder. Being older doesn't make you wise. It just makes you old. Adaeze picked up her bag. Pastor, elders, I appreciate you arranging this meeting. But there's nothing to reconcile. My marriage is over. My reputation will survive because the truth is coming out. Chief Okafor has already arranged interviews with 3 major blogs explaining exactly what happened in Johannesburg, complete with employment records and character witnesses. Chief Okafor? Pastor Okonkwo's expression changed. Everyone in Lagos knew Chief Okafor. His influence was legendary. He's supporting you? He's my godfather. Has been since my father died. The lie came easily, coached by Chief himself. Better to claim family connection than debt. He's taken a personal interest in making sure everyone who defamed me faces consequences. The power dynamic in the room shifted visibly. Mama Uche actually stepped back. Even Chukwudi looked nervous. Now, my client has other appointments. Barrister Akinwale stood. Mr. Adebayo, you have 48 hours to respond to the lawsuit. Mrs. Adebayo Sr., we strongly advise you not to contact our client directly. Pastor Okonkwo, the church will receive formal notice that any further disciplinary action against our client will result in legal action for harassment. They walked out of the office into bright Lagos sunshine. Adaeze didn't realize she was shaking until they reached the car. You did well, Barrister Akinwale said. Very well. Most people crumble under that kind of pressure. I've been crumbling for 2 weeks. I just save it for private moments now. She leaned against the car, breathing deeply. Is any of this real? The lawsuits, the charges. All of it. Chief doesn't do empty threats. We'll win the financial case easily. Gloria's evidence is ironclad. The defamation case is stronger than most because we have the true narrative documented. And the assault charge. He smiled. Multiple video recordings. Open and shut. And after? What happens after we win? You start over. In Abuja. With the hotel position Chief offered. The lawyer's expression gentled. Unless you've changed your mind? Adaeze thought of her boutique, already sold to one of Chief's business associates for slightly below market value but enough to pay her legal fees. She thought of her Lekki house, now rented out to cover the mortgage Chukwudi had secretly taken against it. She thought of her reputation, damaged but not destroyed, thanks to Chief's rapid counter-narrative campaign. I haven't changed my mind. Good. Because there's one more thing you should know. Barrister Akinwale pulled out his phone. Gloria contacted me yesterday. She wants to testify against Chukwudi in court. She's also suing him for child support preemptively. She said, and I quote, "If Adaeze can fight back, so can I." Something warm bloomed in Adaeze's chest. Not quite hope but close. Tell her I'll support her case however I can. I already did. He opened the car door. Now, Chief wants to see you before you return to Abuja. He has news. They drove through Lagos traffic. Familiar, chaotic, exhausting. Past the markets where she used to shop, the church where she'd been condemned, the neighborhood where she'd built her boutique. Everything looked different now. Smaller somehow. As if the city that had once felt like her whole world had shrunk to just another place she used to live. Chief Okafor was waiting at his office in Victoria Island, overlooking the ocean. Adaeze. He embraced her like family. I saw the tribunal footage. Brilliant performance. You had someone recording? Of course. For legal purposes and for insurance. He guided her to a chair. But I have interesting news. Remember Emeka? Chukwudi's business partner who released your photos. The one you're also suing? The same. He approached my people yesterday with an offer. He's willing to testify against Chukwudi about the business fraud, the betting debts, everything, if we drop the defamation charges against him. Why would he turn on his own partner? Because Chukwudi is drowning, and Emeka is smart enough to jump off a sinking ship. Chief poured 2 glasses of wine. With Emeka's testimony, we can prove Chukwudi's been defrauding investors for 2 years. He'll likely face criminal charges, not just civil. He's looking at prison time. Adaeze should have felt triumphant. Instead, she just felt tired. I don't want to destroy him, Chief. I just want him to leave me alone. Noble sentiment. But men like Chukwudi don't stop unless they're forced to stop. Completely. Chief sat across from her. However, I can offer you a choice. We can pursue maximum charges. Ruin him entirely. Or we can accept a settlement. He drops all claims to your property, issues a public apology, pays restitution, and agrees to never contact you again. In exchange, we don't file criminal charges. And Gloria? What about her and the baby? Separate case. She can pursue child support independently of your decisions. Chief studied her face. So what will it be, Adaeze? Vengeance or mercy? She thought of Chukwudi's face when she'd refused to sign. The cake hitting her skin. The videos. The stolen money. The humiliation. But she also thought of the man she'd married 5 years ago. Before the drinking, before the desperation. The man who'd made her laugh, who'd seemed kind. Settlement, she said finally. But the public apology is non-negotiable. And he has to enter counseling for his gambling and drinking. Those terms in writing. Chief smiled. Mercy with accountability. Your father would be proud. Or he'd say I'm a fool. Sometimes mercy is the bravest choice. He raised his glass. To new beginnings then. In Abuja. Away from all this Lagos drama. They clinked glasses as the sun set over the ocean, painting everything gold. Adeeze's phone buzzed. A message from Ngozi. The church is in chaos. Half the congregation is demanding Pastor Okonkwo resign for mishandling your case. Mama Uche had a breakdown during evening service. Chukwudi apparently got drunk and crashed his car. He's fine but arrested for DUI. Ada, you broke the system. No, Adaeze whispered, reading the message. I just refuse to let the system break me. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this story. 6 months later, Abuja gleamed under clear blue sky. Adaeze stood in her new boutique, a luxury fashion wing inside Chief Okafor's flagship hotel in Maitama. The grand opening was in 3 hours. Racks of carefully curated Nigerian and international designs lined the walls. Crystal displays. Soft lighting. Everything she'd dreamed of but couldn't achieve in Lagos while fighting just to survive. You look nervous. Ngozi appeared in the doorway, carrying a bottle of champagne. Stop it. You've earned this. Have I? Adaeze straightened a hanger that didn't need straightening. Sometimes I feel like I ran away instead of fighting. You strategically relocated. There's a difference. Ngozi popped the cork, poured 2 glasses. And look what happened to the people who tried to destroy you. Adaeze knew the stories. Everyone did. Lagos gossip traveled fast. Chukwudi had accepted the settlement rather than face criminal charges. His public apology video had gone viral. Not with sympathy, but with mockery. Turns out Lagos had a short memory for victims but a long one for bullies caught in the act. His construction company had completely collapsed. Last she heard, he was working as a site manager for someone else's firm. His mother having finally stopped funding his failures after her own pension funds ran dry from bailing him out. Pastor Okonkwo had been asked to step down after 3 families left the church and began speaking publicly about other cases where he'd sided with abusive husbands. The new pastor was younger, more progressive, and female. Emeka was serving time for fraud related to a different business deal. His testimony against Chukwudi had saved him from a longer sentence, but not from consequences entirely. And Gloria? She'd had her baby, a beautiful girl she named Kayamaka. God is beautiful. Adaeze sent gifts and a card. They weren't friends exactly, but they understood each other in ways few women could. Stop thinking about them, Ngozi commanded. This is your day. New city, new business, new life. You rebuilt everything they tried to destroy. With Chief Okafor's help. Which you earned by being brave enough to ask for it. Ngozi clinked her glass against Adaeze. And speaking of which, your godfather just arrived with about 50 important-looking people. Through the boutique window, Adaeze saw Chief Okafor stepping out of a black Mercedes, followed by Abuja's social elite. The kind of people whose patronage could make or break a business. Breathe, Ngozi whispered. You've got this. The grand opening was perfect. Customers flowed through, admiring designs, placing orders. Chief's influence had guaranteed media coverage. 3 newspapers, 2 blogs, 1 television crew. The narrative was clear. Adaeze Adebayo, the resilient entrepreneur who'd overcome adversity to build a fashion empire. No mention of cake smashing. No mention of scandal. Just success. By evening, Adaeze had secured advance orders worth over 2 million naira. As guests departed, Chief Okafor approached with someone she didn't recognize. A woman in her 60s, elegant in traditional Aso oak, radiating authority. Adaeze, this is Senator Amina Kwara. She's very impressed with your work. Mrs. Adebayo. The senator's handshake was firm. I'm hosting a diplomatic dinner next month. 50 guests, mostly foreign dignitaries. I need someone to provide authentic Nigerian fashion for the attendees to purchase. Are you interested? It was the kind of opportunity that could establish her as a major player in Abuja's fashion scene. The kind of opportunity that would make Lagos feel very far away indeed. Absolutely. Senator. I'd be honored. They discussed details while Chief watched with quiet satisfaction. When the senator left, he turned to Adaeze with a rare genuine smile. You're going to be fine. Better than fine. Thanks to you. No. Thanks to you not giving up. He squeezed her shoulder. Your father would be extremely proud. And I think you're finally ready to stop punishing yourself for surviving the way you did. Adaeze felt tears prick her eyes. I'm working on it. Good. Because there's someone here who wants to talk to you. Chief gestured toward the door. Adaeze turned and froze. Her younger sister, Chidinma, stood hesitantly at the entrance. They hadn't spoken in 3 years, not since Chidinma had sided with Chukwudi during an early marital argument, calling Adaeze too independent and disrespectful to her husband. Ada. Chidinma's voice was small. Can we talk? Adaeze looked at Chief, who nodded encouragingly and disappeared toward the back office, leaving them alone. What are you doing here, Chidi? I came to apologize. Chidinma moved closer, wringing her hands. I saw what Chukwudi did. The videos. The lies. And I realized I'd been so wrong. About everything. About what it means to be a good wife. About what you were going through. She wiped her eyes. I married Michael last year. And Ada. He's like Chukwudi. Not violent but controlling. Demanding. Always right. And I finally understand what you were trying to tell me. Adaeze's anger, carefully stored for 3 years, suddenly felt pointless. Are you safe? For now. But I'm scared I'll end up like you. Smashed cake, destroyed reputation, if I don't get out soon. Chidinma's voice cracked. Will you help me? Please. I know I don't deserve it. Stop. Adaeze pulled her sister into a hug. Of course I'll help. That's what sisters do. They held each other while evening fell over Abuja, the city lights beginning to sparkle. I'm so sorry, Chidinma whispered. For everything. I know. And I forgive you. Because holding grudges is exhausting, and I'm tired of being tired. Adaeze pulled back, looking at her sister's face. But here's the deal. You leave Michael, you stay with me while you figure things out, and you start making your own money so you're never dependent on anyone again. Deal. Deal. Later that night, after everyone had left and the boutique was quiet, Adaeze stood alone among the racks of beautiful clothes. Her phone buzzed. An email from an unfamiliar address. Subject: from one survivor to another. Mrs. Adebayo, you don't know me, but I saw your story in the newspapers. I'm in a similar situation. Husband who controls everything, threatens to ruin me if I leave. I've been too scared to do anything. But seeing what you did, seeing that you survived and rebuilt, it gave me hope. Thank you for fighting. Thank you for showing us it's possible. Signed, a sister in Lagos. Adaeze read the email 3 times, then saved it in a special folder she titled, Why It Mattered. Because maybe that was the real redemption. Not the boutique or the senator's order or even Chief Okafor's patronage. Maybe it was simply refusing to let shame have the final word. Maybe it was standing up and showing other women that surviving wasn't something to apologize for. Her phone rang. Ngozi. Ada. You need to check Instagram. Now. She opened the app. Her boutique page had gained 5,000 followers overnight. The comment section was full of messages from women. Your courage inspired me to leave my abusive marriage. Thank you for not staying silent. You showed us that women can fight back and win. And then, surprisingly, one comment from a name she recognized. At Gloria Adebanjo, to everyone judging Ada for her past, stop. She's been nothing but kind to me even when she had every right to hate me. Real strength is showing mercy when you have the power to destroy. Respect, sis. Adaeze laughed, then cried, then laughed again. You okay? Ngozi asked over the phone. Yeah. Actually, I think I am. Adaeze looked around her beautiful boutique in this new city, with her sister sleeping upstairs in her spare bedroom and thousands of women watching her story unfold. I'm more than okay. I'm free. Good. Because you've got 3 more interview requests and Senator Kwara's assistant wants to schedule a meeting. Send me the details. I'll handle it. She would handle it. All of it. Because she'd survived cake smashing and character assassination and the loss of everything she'd built. She'd survived by refusing to let cruelty define her story. And if a woman from Lagos could do that, could rise from humiliation to become someone other women looked to for hope, then maybe, just maybe, she'd done something that mattered. Adaeze locked up the boutique and walked out into warm Abuja night, toward whatever came next. The shame was gone. Only resilience remained. The end. If this story touched your heart, please like, subscribe, and share it with women who need to hear this message. Your story isn't over. No matter what anyone says. Comment below. What would you do in Adaeze's situation? We read every comment. Thank you for being part of the K-Smart's Mythic Tales family.